Hello, virtuous leaders, scholars, and virtue change agents. My name is Dr. Lisa Marie Portugal, and I am the Leadership Architect. I'd like to welcome you today to this talk that I have prepared for you called Brainstorming for Creativity, and it is based on one of my many books, A Culture of Excellence, Virtuous Leadership Principles for Organizational Success, a Management System. And on the cover slide, I have a beautiful graphic there for you, which happens to also be the cover of the book. The 4 cardinal virtues: prudence, justice, fortitude, and temperance. We cannot achieve greatness or magnanimity unless and until we master the virtues within ourselves. Reaching greatness or magnanimity is about virtue building within ourselves, our families, communities, and others. We cannot achieve magnanimity until fortitude, self-control, counsel, justice, prudence, understanding, respect for others, temperance, humility, charity, piety, and courage are present first within us. We cannot give to others what we do not possess ourselves. So understanding how to master ourselves and build virtue is the first, ongoing, and last step required for magnanimity. And mastering the virtues is a lifelong and ongoing process throughout our entire lives. When we fall, pick yourself up and start the practice of virtue building again. And do this throughout your entire life. Magnanimity is an ongoing process and a focus we should have throughout our lives. It is also a focus we should have for working with, mentoring, and coaching others to their greatness. We can build virtue within ourselves and help others in our sphere of influence to achieve greatness in their own lives by teaching the virtues and living the virtues in everything we do. And I'd like to invite you to live virtuously. Okay, the table of contents I have for you starts out with the About Dr. Lisa Marie Portugal, Brainstorming for Creativity, Successful Brainstorming for Creativity, Drilling Down, Unsuccessful Brainstorming for Creativity, Leaders' Role in Brainstorming for Creativity, Core Fundamentals of Creative Problem Solving, and the conclusion. So let's take a look. Here is my About page. You can stop the audio if you'd like and read through that. I already mentioned that I read through this in the first talk, but I do have a graphic here of Miss Lucy Van Pelt. If you've listened to some of my other talks, you know that I just love her. She cracks me up. I think she had such audacity for a cartoon, right? And here's one of her audacious statements. I never made a mistake in my life. I thought I did once, but I was wrong. Isn't that cute? So this is my homage to Miss Lucy Van Pelt. Okay, so let's talk about brainstorming for creativity. There is a notion that people working independently are better at thinking divergently. For example, thinking widely to bring about varied and differing assortments of ideas. Furthermore, groups are better at thinking convergently. For example, choosing what ideas are worth advancing. In addition, many studies have found that individuals working independently have the ability to create more diverse ideas versus a grouping of people brainstorming together in a session. Problems with group brainstorming sessions arise from group behaviors. People tend to conform to group will or consensus, and this can reduce creative idea generation. Moreover, some individuals in a group may tend to sit back, contribute less, and let others do the hard work. Thus, not all members may participate evenly in a group brainstorming session. In addition, group behavior can devolve to the lowest performing member. Finally, when individuals work alone, ideas may be remembered more easily and carried out to their logical conclusions versus working in groups where ideas may collide or could easily be forgotten or ignored. A common consideration about brainstorming is that it is a skill that needs to be developed and should be coached and facilitated by experts. And experts like yourself, right? Once you start researching brainstorming and creativity and you start learning some of these particulars and tips and tricks, you can be that expert coaching your team and whoever you're working with. Okay, but the cost to organizations may be high and not always justified when organizations can just as easily have staffers generate ideas independently with no or low cost involved. Another common consideration is that the collaborative benefits of group brainstorming sessions can overcome a loss in creative idea generation. Group brainstorming sessions have the ability to bring staffers together to work on a problem. In addition, groups can aid in making individuals feel as though they are part of a decision-making process. I always like to have people feel that they're part of their decision-making process as well. That's important to me as an employee, a staffer, as well as a leader and a manager of others. Successful brainstorming for creativity. There are many ideas about how to improve group brainstorming sessions, such as brainwriting. Group participants can independently write down their own ideas and then share their ideas with the group. This activity can be done many times in a round-robin style to aid in generating more creative ideas. This will also aid in idea sharing and idea building while hopefully reducing consensus or non-participation by some group members. When working in a group brainstorming session, a group leader should have leadership skills in a multitude of idea generation techniques to help group members develop a wider breadth and depth of new, fresh, and unique ideas. Some of those techniques can involve aiding a group in multi-dimensionalizing a problem so that a wider range of varied and divergent perspectives can be fleshed out or anticipated. I love that word, multi-dimensionalizing. Drilling down, let's talk about that. Drilling down is another technique that can be used to surpass limiting assumptions so that group members can see new possibilities or options. Free association is another common brainstorming technique that is used often in groups. Group leaders should have abilities in helping brainstorming groups to enhance and expand their ideas of others to develop completely new directions by exploring or combining various aspects of an idea. Finally, group leaders should be skilled in helping brainstorming groups to simulate the flow of original thoughts as well as generating an abundance of innovative concepts. So let's talk about unsuccessful brainstorming. Oh, you know what? I have a graphic here for you about drilling down. Let's look at that first. I thought having a graphic would be important. So let's start with number 1. Start by writing the problem down on the left-hand side of a large sheet of paper. Number 2, a little to the right of this, write down a list of points relating to the problem. Number 3, these may be factors contributing to the problem, information relating to it, or questions. And as you'll notice as we go through some of these categories, in a group, people may have different ideas of what are the problems related to this issue, right? I may have problems related that may be very different from someone else, right? So that's why working in a group and drilling down might be a good idea. So let's move to number 4. For each of these points, repeating the process, keep on drilling down into points until you fully understand the factors contributing to the problem. And then finally, 5, if you cannot break them down using the knowledge you have, then do more research. And that's something I love doing. I'm always doing more research to figure things out or to look for solutions, right? Or to investigate things that I don't know yet. Okay, so unsuccessful brainstorming for creativity. I have found brainstorming with others to be challenging because oftentimes the loudest voice or the most popular person may get all the attention. Furthermore, groups may tend to play favorites and minimize the voice of others. Moreover, many groups tend to seek mediocre consensus rather than stressing superior idea generation. Finally, not all group members may be willing to put in the time needed to generate innovative ideas. These types of situations can lead to unsuccessful group brainstorming. Furthermore, everyone in the group must have strong creative thinking skills as well as deep intellectual background in content areas that are important for the brainstorming sessions to generate creative ideas. If there are members in the group who do not possess creative, talented, intellectual, and deep knowledge in the areas needed, superior ideas may not be the desired result. I have found that my best ideas have always been generated when I work alone rather than in groups. And let me explain that for myself just in a personal way. When I work in groups, sometimes, like I said, the loudest voices may be heard. I may not voice my opinion because, I may feel shy, or maybe my ideas might not be appreciated. I know others may have this feeling as well. Or maybe if you bring up some ideas and they get poo-pooed by the group or someone, right? Or maybe you get a negative look on someone's face. There could be a multitude of reasons. So for myself, in a personal way, I like to do my own idea generation, but I can say this: I get a lot of creativity when I'm researching and listening to others and seeing what's going on out there, what the lay of the land is, what other people are doing. And sometimes, being in a group helps me, but I may be one of those shy people that may not always participate as easily with my ideas because I might be shy or scared to bring them up, right? So like I said, I like to bring that up because other people may feel that way. So if you are leading groups in a management or leadership position that you happen to be in, you should know that about anyone that you're working with in the groups so that you can help everyone perform to their optimal best and to feel safe. So you need to provide a trusted environment for people. Okay, so let's get to the next slide. We're going to talk about leaders' role in brainstorming for creativity. So that leads right into what we were talking about, what your role will be. All right, let me get back up to my slide. I went a little fast here. Oh, no, there we are. We're good. Okay. Another way a team leader in a group brainstorming session can help team members generate more ideas is to clarify, ideate, develop, and implement. For example, when clarifying, explore a vision, gather data, and then formulate questions, right? So these are all things that you can do as a leader working with your group. When in the ideate phase, I love that word. When in the ideate phase, explore as many ideas as possible and use mind maps. I know I like to use mind maps quite a bit. Encourage team creativity. Role storm. Use problem-solving activities, use thinking models, and identify a step-by-step innovation process to enhance creativity. Now, I'm just bringing up these ideas. You might want to do some background research on every one of those concepts that I mentioned. I use them all in myself, in my own ideation process, as well as when I'm working with groups. When in the development stage, focus on examining all possible options to come up with solutions. Okay, next slide. We will be talking about, again, unsuccessful brainstorming for creativity. Assess whether a possible solution may meet criteria and needs. Examine if you can implement solutions successfully. Determine which ideas may be the best fit and consider how to strengthen possible options. In the formulation stage, develop an action plan for the best possible solution you have chosen. Identify actions and resources to implement the selected option. And finally, communicate the plan while making sure all stakeholders accept and understand the choice or choices made. Next, we're going to talk about core fundamentals of creative problem solving. There are some core fundamentals regarding creative problem solving, such as the following ideas. Focus on getting to a yes instead of a no. The type of language we use is relevant to formulating and generating ideas and information. Using words like yes and can encourage others to widen and increase their ideas and thoughts. This is important throughout the process of brainstorming. When using a word such as but preceding the word yes or no, this can have the ability to end a conversation quickly. And that's, why I point that out, because something like that might shut someone like me down, right? So we want to be very careful with the kind of language that we're going to use when we're managing our groups. In addition, this can negate what has come before it. The next concept here is suspend or defer judgment. That's very important, right? Because you don't want to shut people down. One comment or statement, if it's shut down, you might just shut down some free association ideas that may follow after that statement was made, right? So when we judge solutions too early, this can shut down the generation of ideas. Rather, there is a necessary and appropriate time to judge ideas in a convergence phase. The next concept, asking problems as questions. Develop the idea to rephrase challenges and problems as open-ended questions, having multiple possibilities. By doing this, it can be easier to find solutions. I always like asking questions. When asking questions in this format, a good deal of rich information may be generated. When framing closed questions, this may lead to evoke shorter answers, for example, disagreements or confirmations. Limited responses or no responses tend to be generated when framing problem statements. The next concept on the list is convergent and divergent thinking should have balance. A basic to creative thinking is having the ability to learn how to balance and identify convergent and divergent thinking, which are done separately, and knowing when to engage in each type of thinking. And I love this little graphic here for you. Not accountability, ownership is the key to employee engagement. I always like people to be the author or have authorship over their own progress and their life, because that gets us buy-in, and it makes them proactive in wanting to do more and be more creative for themselves, right? Okay, so that concludes my talk today. I love this graphic. And again, keep in mind, everything that I do in my best practices, I am modeling for you. And this particular graphic, I just love. You're a superstar. I send that out to students in classes that I teach for various reasons, right? And I do that in private email in certain circumstances. And whenever they get it, it always puts a chuckle and a smile on their face that was unexpected. So I like to do unexpected things for people that I work with, that I coach, that I teach, that I manage, or even, if I'm a member in a group and I'm a staffer or a participant, I still like to be very creative in things that I do, and I'm always looking for ways to put a smile on people's faces, right? So this one always does it for them. And of course, I'm sure you have your favorite memes as well, but keep in mind, every action that you see me doing, I am modeling for you so that you can be creative in your own way. And references today, I just cited from my own book. There it is. And I want to thank you so much for listening to this talk. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it will be fruitful for how you want to lead and manage others in your creative brainstorming processes. And again, thank you. It was my pleasure, my honor to serve you today. Goodbye.